I'm Jim Schultz, and welcome to Inside the Trade. It is a Friday. We're heading into the weekend, and I, like many of you all, got assigned in my Tesla trade. So I was like, man, I was going to unwind this guy on the open. Like, I was going to clean this guy up on the open, but I was like, let's do this on the show live because I know that when you are assigned, sometimes it's a little tricky, sometimes it's a little sticky. So let's do that here live together. So, Ben, bring us into the market, man. Man, I heard the guys before, Mike and Jamal and E. Yeah, NASDAQ is sliding. She is slipping going into the weekend, down 250. But take a look at the portfolio here. So, Tesla, we are the proud owners, and maybe not so proud owners now, of 200 long shares in Tesla. So, I thought, let's take some time and let's unwind this guy live. So, the first thing you want to understand whenever you are assigned on any position, the risk parameters that you had going into the position before you were assigned are no different. These are unchanged. These are no different. As long as you don't start breaking things up and creating brand new positions, your risk parameters are the same, whatever they were before the assignment. So if they were defined risk, they're still defined risk. If they were undefined risk, of course, they're still going to be undefined risk. And so for us here, this is a butterfly, or like I guess was a butterfly. This is the artist formerly known as a butterfly. And so because of that, we still have the same risk parameters on that a butterfly would have on. And one of the better or one of the best maybe qualities of a butterfly is the maximum loss is known. Like you know your maximum loss, you know your worst case scenario on entry. And so you don't have to necessarily worry if I get this wrong, if it doesn't work, what's going to happen. So we were assigned. And so if we take a look at, so we're going to have to use a couple of different tabs here today. We're going to use, normally I would go to like an activity tab. Normally you might bring up a little, bring up a little Alice in Chains, and that would of course be good. It's a great way to start the weekend. But if you get assigned, you actually need to dig into the history tab. So if I go into the history tab, you're going to see, let me sort by Tesla. And let me know in the chat. Let me know where you guys are at. Let me know if you guys got assigned. Let me know how your earnings trades panned out. Let me know how Intel is holding up for you guys. Man, that thing is crashing like a storm on the shores here this morning. And so that's not great for me. But anyway, I digress. If I go back to 7 days in Tesla, nothing like some digressions early in the morning. You guys are used to the afternoon digressions, but before 10 o'clock, man, it's a whole different experience. So if you take a look at what happened here with Tesla, we got assigned at the 355 strike. So we bought our shares of Tesla at 355. So obviously you can see that's going to eat up a significant chunk of buying power. Like that is going to be, absorbing a lot of our capital, and it's not really going to allow us to be able to do too many other things. And so what I want to do here is let's just take a look at the situation before we even do anything. So we got the shares at 355. I guess we could have seen it right here, actually. Man, look at how easy that Tasty Trade makes it. Look at how simple this is. It's right on the screen. And so, man, that is some good stuff. So you're going to see we're going to lose about $40 a share on the shares. And so that doesn't look good. So right there, we can kind of put like, that gets one of those jobs. But then if you look at the puts, let's grab a different color here just because we can. You're going to see that we've got an 80-cent put that's marking at 22.20, right? So that's kind of good. And then we have a 931 put. Or I'm sorry, the strike is 372.50, but the cost of the put, it was 931. It's marking for $56. It's like, Jim, why didn't you just do that? I know. I'm asking myself the same question here this morning. So that obviously gets another one of those guys. And so net, like I'm okay if I end up with one of those guys, right? Like I'm okay with just kind of a neutral expression. Kind of give me that neutral emoji and I'll be all right. And so what we're going to do is we are going to unwind this guy here live on the show. Now, when you go to unwind an assignment, there's a couple of different ways that you could do this. You may do it a slightly different way from how I do it, but I like to do it in kind of a piecemeal fashion, just so I can clearly see and identify what happened to that piece of the actual strategy. My goal is to close the whole thing down anyway. So whether you do it in one fell swoop or you break it up, you're going to effectively end up at the same end destination. Now, the difference, of course, being, like I'm going to close the shares first here in a second, and then I'm going to close the options. There may be a 20, 30, 45 cent lag between those closing trades. Obviously, with a stock like Tesla, that may work in my favor, that may work against me, but it's only here live on the Tasty Network that it is working at all. So let's go ahead and let's close out of our Tesla position first. I'm sorry, let's close out of our shares first. Well, actually, wait a second. Hold on. Just to show you, if you wanted to do these all in one fell swoop, you could just highlight everything, close the position, go to the full right there, and then boom, you would be able to close it for a 709.70 credit. Now, again, you can see that's going to release a ton of buying power in the account. And that's where I ultimately want to get. You can do that. That's totally fine. And we could do that. We can make sense of that and what have you. But for me, and I've been doing this a long time, for me, it's still easier to actually break it apart. And so that way I can clearly look at, okay, what happened to the shares? What happened to the options? Where did I end up in the end? And so I'm going to break it apart, but you could do it all together if you wanted to. If you're like, yeah, I don't really have the extra 10 or 15 seconds. I kind of want to do this all in one click. You could do that. You could do that. So let me go ahead and let's close this guy down. Let's close down our shares. So it looks like it's going to be about 314.60 or 70 or whatever. It's obviously moving around quite a bit. Let's see. Oh, it's like 315 now. Yeah, I'll just go in around 315. That's fine. So we'll get our shares closed, hopefully here in the next couple of seconds. Okay, so the shares just got closed. So now we got to hurry. We got to move with some quickness. We got to close our puts. Now, again, I'm going to close them one at a time. You could close them together in a blast order if you wanted to. I like doing them one at a time. It's just the way that I've always done it. You know, you could argue it's not efficient. You could argue it's worse. And I wouldn't necessarily oppose any of those arguments. But this is just how I like to do it. So that way, for my record keeping purposes, okay, so we're out now. We are completely out of Tesla. If you see it's gone, it just completely vanishes from the portfolio. It's like it was never there to begin with. If we click on this closed tab, though, you're going to see that for Tesla, we are gone. There is no position left. Now, if you look at the P&L for the day, you can see we didn't actually lose that much money. Now, it may have appeared that we were losing a ton of cash, that we were just hemorrhaging cash and just setting stacks ablaze here on the show. But again, remember that the risk parameters were the same. So now, if I were to go back in and try to figure out my basis on the Tesla position, I can see in the activity tab very clearly, here's what happened to the shares. Here's what happened to the first option. Here's what happened to the second option. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, can you take me one step further? Can you work out that basis? Well, you got to watch from theory to practice later today. Right, we may spend a couple of minutes actually unpacking the total basis on the trade to actually see that the risk on the butterfly, even after being assigned, was indeed defined. But your boy needs that watch time, so we can't do it now. We got to do it. We got to do it later today. And so, all right. So what I want to do though, I see you guys in the chat though, man. You guys are in there putting in some morning reps. Man, look at you guys. I see Aunt Duh is in the house. Please give my best to Uncle Duh. I know he's probably nearby. Ash fan, time to light some stacks of cash on fire in the morning. Yeah, you gotta heat yourself up a little bit. I mean, said no one ever in the late July weeks and months of St. Petersburg, Florida. But yeah, we do have some stacks of cash to get us moving forward. Great way to start the Friday with my favorite man, the magician, Dr. J. Man, let's go. Point B is here. You were assigned on a leg in your butterfly. Can you elaborate, or is it due to the short put? It was the short put. Right now, every leg of the butterfly was in the money, right? So we were going to have to close this one way or another today anyway. Now, when you do a butterfly and you miss the mark, you can miss the mark in two different ways. You can miss the mark by being out of the money. You can miss the mark by being in the money. And if it's all in the money, you have to close it. Otherwise, you're going to be assigned across the board. And it's generally going to be more cost effective for you to just close the strategy. You do have to negotiate bid-ask spread differentials on 4 different legs. Well, I guess 3 different legs. I mean, the middle one is kind of doubled up. There are 0 closing commissions on Tasty Trade, which is super nice. But there are going to be assignment fees. So if you hold the actual strategy through expiration, I think you pay, what do we pay? $5? We paid like $5, I think, per assignment leg, right? We see that right here. Let me see. Tesla. Yeah. Here it is right here. $5. So you pay $5 on an assignment fee. So again, it's kind of like, we'd have 3 parts to that if we went ahead and carried it into expiration. The risk parameters would be no different, but if we carried it into expiration, then we'd pay $15, I suppose. And so it was the short put there. Point B, I appreciate you, my friend. And so Flipper says, can you ask him with his Tesla share assignment, does he plan on selling a call against it? No, I just got rid of all of it. I just closed the entire position. Now, if you were like mega bullish on Tesla and you were like, hey, I think this is the bottom, you could hold the shares. You could just close the put and then hold the shares, and then hold the shares to the upside. That would be fine. You could do that and then potentially sell calls against it. It's not a terrible idea. I don't typically do that with like a defined risk strategy. You could do that with something like, like a short put spread. You have a short put spread on, it goes fully in the money, and you're in a situation where like, all right, I kind of still like the stock. Maybe I just close the put, take assignment on the shares, which is effectively what happened to us, and then ride the shares higher. Yeah, you could absolutely do that. I don't typically do that. That would be a little bit off the reservation for me. Which is not to say we won't explore or entertain some things that are off the reservation. We certainly do that from time to time. And by that, I mean on a pretty regular basis. And so maybe we'll do that at some point in the future. But let's see. Bread Mud is in the house. What's going on there, Bread Mud? I appreciate you. Ashvin, Dr. Jim is great about paying attention to the YouTube chat as I'm in the YouTube chat. Man, this is some meta level of content this morning. This is Inception level stuff. He will also have a very interactive show at 2:30 Eastern. That is correct. That's absolutely correct. And then there's Flipper, there's N1C. Intel, what are they doing to you? Yeah, what is Intel doing to us? This is a bit of a preview into from theory to practice later, but ooh, yikes. Man, we need the administration to come in with something to save the position. Yikes. Man, we had a nice move last night. We'll talk about all that on from theory to practice, though. And so I just want to see where you guys are at real quick in the final minutes of the show. Ranch is in the house. Orgdenu is here. What is up, my friend? And N1C. Let's see. Ashwin says I have a doctorate from the University of Memphis. That's correct. I was a former college professor. That's also correct. I was an artist formerly known as a college professor, and man, that's how I started my career, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and it was great. I mean, it's if I could go off on a tangent for 2 seconds, and by 2 seconds I mean it's going to be the rest of the show. I loved it. Like there was a really special time in my life. It was a really special opportunity to be able to be with young people all the time. And, 21, 22, 23. I mean, can you imagine? Like so many of you are finding us and finding me, whatever. You already have a baseline of some understanding of the stock market, right? Like you want to learn more, you want to, engage with options, whatever, but you have a baseline, you have a foundation. Can you imagine if your first ever experience was me? Like if I was the one that like forever colored like what you thought about the financial markets, that's scary stuff, man. The fact that they let me in the room all by myself, like that's super, super scary stuff. But it was a special time in my life, man. And I just remember so many times from that, like so many times from that. It was really, really great. And so let's see. Mr. Pillows, what is going on? Ash Finn or Daniel, only Dr. Jim could help you live with things like this. Thank you, Doctor. You're the best, man. I appreciate you so very, very much. Let's see. Annie Goodman in the house. What's going on there, Annie Goodman? NDX put butterfly. Jamal and Mike trade. What is the profit target? NDX seems hard to exit. Is this normal? So I don't trade NDX too often. It is a little hard to exit, in my opinion. I haven't traded that in a really, really long time. I would actually I would ask Mike and Jamal more specifically about that. And so Andy, maybe you could pop into the channel. They're gonna be back on right when I'm done here in just a couple of seconds. And so I don't want to necessarily misrepresent their position. And I don't trade NDX that often, Annie. So that's good to hear from you, by the way. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to offer too many insights over and above what they could do themselves. And so I'm gonna leave that for them. Let's see. Flipper, Doc and Liz should be coupled with a live trading show. That's a pretty good idea. That is a pretty good idea. Let's see. Ranch, it's going to be neat doing 0 days and stuff with Dr. J. Put him on in the morning, manage him in the afternoon. He agrees. I actually thought about doing that today. I actually thought about doing like an SPX trade in the morning and then managing it later today. But then the Tesla thing happened, and I was like, well, that's really pressing. That's real time. We can do this any day. And so now you got to watch Monday's show, obviously. And so, yeah, you're not going to want to miss next week's show. I can assure you of that. But yeah, so let's see. Where else are we at? We got a couple seconds to go. Let's see. Thoughts on SpaceX? I have very few thoughts on SpaceX other than it's just so funny to me that, when they IPO'd and they were rocketing higher, pun intended, everybody on the internet was like, oh, it can't go down. You got lockup periods. You got this, you got that, you got the other thing. Like they can't sell it. They can't sell it if they wanted to. And that was quite literally the top tick. Like that, that was quite literally the highest possible price for SpaceX. And so, as I close the show this morning, it's just further evidence. Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows anything. Not one single thing. Not you, not me, not nobody. They don't know anything. So that is Inside the Trade, a little Tesla assignment, Unwind.